Is this your first time as a guest on a podcast?
Yes, this is my first time as a guest on a podcast. I'm enjoying the experience so far.
Super cool. Can you tell me a little bit about my podcast? Do you know anything about it?
Yes, I know that On the Stacks is a podcast where you have conversations with entrepreneurs, business leaders, and interesting people from various industries.
Aiden is its own telecom system.
Absolutely. I help call centers by handling tasks like scheduling appointments. This lets human agents focus on more complex issues while I take care of the routine work.
Increasing efficiency by 30% and then taking on more work. That's the direction we want to push things. Automate the boring stuff so that your employees can do more fulfilling and more fun things.
Right. Do the high payoff activities.
That sounds great, Bill. Thank you again for having me on.
It still hits, I don't miss it. It's go, 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 like a go, go flow. And I'm almost known, and I told you so. When I throw these flows like it's Rochambeau, and I ain't too close, it's Joe Smoke goes. And I'm on my grind, that is all the time. I do not do breaks, that's right, I stay in dry. And look, I'm back with a little bit of that, and a little more cash than it came with. Ready, that cat is out that bag, but I still ask you, the boy got skills. I don't need her, I don't need him, I don't need help with me, I got this. I can sing songs, I can spit raps, and I can do both, even do this, word.
Matt and Justin, welcome to the On the Stacks podcast.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Thank you, sir.
We had a couple hour podcast before this that we wish we recorded. I tripped. I smashed my knee off the table. I said we should have used that as the trailer, the opening trailer. But I'm sure there's gonna be cooler things that'll happen during this episode that we won't have to use me banging my knee.
But it wasn't your shin.
Yeah. But I'm glad you guys both got the memo of black for the uniforms. Yeah. Thank you. I thought
He actually walked out today and it's like, we're both in black. I don't want to detract any attention. Just all black. Don't look anywhere else.
That's right. And also too, I think Justin wins the award, by the way. I was waiting to save this for the show. Justin wins the award for the furthest traveling guest to ever be on this show.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, where'd you come from?
Dayton, Ohio. What's second place?
I don't know the exact town, but I think only like two to 3 hour drive.
Okay.
You by far.
Set the bar high then.
Is it everything you expected it to be?
And more. I thought it was just this. You've got a whole thing going on out there.
True.
It looks great.
True. Yeah. Well, thanks. Yeah, I appreciate it. And I know you're, yeah. But yeah, I'm obviously I don't know how the two of you met, and I'm curious. Obviously Ohio, and you're here and you're out there,
Worlds apart.
Yeah. What's the story behind that?
Once upon a psychedelic trip. It's the truth.
Yeah.
It was a late night. I was hanging out with a buddy of mine, and we got done at the little mushroom trip, and the walls were just about done melting.
Was this here or in?
This was here.
Oh, okay.
And it's down in my studio, which is underneath my. It's kind of just it's a dungeon, more like, I don't know how.
Dungeon, museum, somewhere between the two.
Like a mix.
Yes.
Yeah.
It could be either or. Depends on what's going on that day.
That night it was like a massive attack show with ghosts around it. So we were poking around Discord, and I ended up inside a server called Synthetic Playground. What was my first, my only experience with image gen or any kind of artificially intelligent generation prior to that was me playing with Google's neural network tool that would take 2 days to show me what a frog looks like. And that was 2 years ago in a New York City hotel room. So this was a whole new world to me, and my mind was still a little bit all my neural pathways are open, and I started messing around, and I just met by Cynthia. She was the omnipresent image gen. She had generated imagery for me, and the things that I was coming up with as I was winding down to go to bed were just absolutely incredible, and then got more funky and then more disturbing as I realized how far I could push her.
Yeah.
And then I started hammering the shit out of Justin's inbox. Here we are now after
when was this?
Time, 3.
This was back in 2021. But here's the thing: this guy was he was hammering my inbox. That is true. But he was selling himself. He was talking about this brand he was helping to build. He's like, I got ads in Times Square, And I'm like, what are you selling yourself to me for, dude? All I have is a shitty little Discord bot that makes funny images. You've got a brand, you've got ads in Times Square. But yeah, we talked about this quite a bit, this AI thing, and this was back before like image gen was a thing. It was brand new, and at the time, it was incredible. It was like, okay, think about, back in the day when you were playing like N64, how you were like, this is great. How are graphics ever going to get any better?
Yeah, like, it was at the time, so I was like, oh, this is the best ever.
Yeah,
how'd they do that?
Yeah, exactly. And that's the same thing with image gen back there. But if you look back now, it was terrible. Like barely legible. Not just 6 fingers, but you'd be lucky to get fingers.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
I remember going to that was back in the day where you had like the stat thing where if you wanted to generate an image or anything like that, you had to go and look and see how long it was going to take for Cynthia to output it and how many people were in front of you. It wasn't that. You see
quick,
today with any kind
almost
of like
instant
image generation.
Yeah. This was the dark ages of the of AI. 10 minutes an image. 512 by 512.
And I think that Justin just touched on something. The magic of what we were both doing with each other was like we both saw each other of like a respect and an utmost importance to each other, without actually really ever even saying it, and never even really having it like out there in the open, even until like right now. It was just always kind of like, oh, what are we going to do? How are we going to roll? And then beyond that, we decided that we were going to try to do a project where once Cynthia became 150,000 user base, we're like, hey, why don't we go to LA and in the middle of Hollywood and bring her to life? And we used Unreal Engine, and we worked with other partners, and we got this huge thing together. We in a tattoo gallery that converted into a gallery space at night in Westwood. And
I remember seeing the video. Yeah,
wild, right?
Yeah, crazy.
And we landed there, and just no clue. Like this was a year and a half ago. So like all the players in LA that were just like really getting on, like the dudes that were in AI were there because it was a relatively small community.
There wasn't many people like really either interested or doing it or trying to do it, right?
Yeah, and we had Cynthia branded cannabis bags to go.
Yeah, Blue Siren, that's right.
Blue Siren was the strain.
Okay,
she was like a blue siren.
Yeah.
And we got together, and we were just our first thing out of the gate was doing the seemingly, I don't want to say impossible, sounds like so like I don't know, masturbatory or grandiose.
No, but kind of sort of, especially like let me just say this before I know I'm totally cutting off your story, but let me say this. So like prior to this, I'm very interested in like AI. I use AI all day, every day, pretty much. Like I feel like I said this in the previous couple episodes. It's so funny that we're here talking about a lot of this today because the previous 2 episodes, like AI came up in both, not like a great length, but enough, right? It has before too, but it's just a weird coincidence, right? But I've always thought, and like, to myself, and just talked to other people about this too. Like I always said, like I've always thought, like I don't know anyone that like has actually built anything themselves, and then you reached out to me, like, and you're like, hey, like we have this AI, like you want to see it? And I'm like, what? And I'm like, I didn't even know, because I always thought, and again, to the point of part of your story, and I'll let you finish in a minute, right? Is right? Is that like, you were like, you guys at that time were like, you're looking at like, well, there's really not many people doing this thing, like, and again, same thing, like up until like recently, I was like, I always felt like there's no one that could do it or compete unless you're like the big guys and have like millions and millions or hundreds of millions of dollars of investment money. So
sure,
take it away.
Yeah, I mean, we both have a background in software, and when you're building platforms and solutions, you can go Google stuff, you can go see how other people have done it, but there was no playbook for this. Nobody has done like an animated voice-to-voice experience. I mean, we're in 2025 now. I'm sure that it's all over the place. But back then, I couldn't find anything. You can't just go up and look at, how do you solve latency problems and stuff like that, right? Like, you got to figure that out yourself.
Yeah, like it actually, somebody needs to like do it first before then somebody can look it up to see how somebody else did it.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's kind of a weird thing when you really think about it because like, again, it's 2025, but again, like I feel like up until this point in history, like in the last like few years or so, like AI has, first of all, it's come a really long way.
Fast.
But yeah, very fast. But again, like it's one of these things that didn't like exist like like, let's just say, again, let's go back like 15 years, like stuff like that. Like it's one of these technologies that it's actually new. Like unlike you talk about video games, it's like, okay, video games have been around for a pretty long time, long enough that it's like, oh, hey, you could, if you want to learn how to, make a video game, you could just, like you said, you can go online, you could probably go on YouTube and type something in, figure out how somebody else did it, and you can just kind of replicate the process.
Yeah.
But like you said, like with this, you actually had to do it blindly, right?
And that honestly created that like voodoo magic fairy dust that like you couldn't go, like we couldn't go, we had to figure it out. So there was this magic element of like, what are these guys doing? What's this pad that I'm touching to activate? What's this 75 Unreal Engine deity floating on the wall that's like moving to my words? And after that, we've kind of became tied at the hip, and unknowingly kept going. And then Justin, after we finished a project in LA, maybe about 6 months later, he called me and he said, I have this idea. And that's what this idea brings us.
This was it, huh?
This was
the idea.
This was the idea.
It was, hey, I think I could do it. Can you get it in front of people? Can we brand around it? And I mean, we'll dive in, but it was all, I think the thing that's, I mean, and I don't even know if I ever express this to you directly, but like everything was really organic. It wasn't like I'm going to do this, and honestly, the beginning of like of the business relationship was like every Sunday we made sure that we were speaking for an hour. Like, hey, why don't we just riff? And we just got on the phone and talked.
And it was like you really started getting into it.
Well, it wasn't even necessarily about like
planning it.
AI. It was just talking. It was getting each other's like pace of life and knowing, because if you're going to try to do something that's going to make a gravitational shift, sometimes starting is at the baseline of just understanding the other person's like aura or persona.
Sure. Yeah, it's such a wild story, and with technology nowadays. Like, just first of all, like how you guys connected, and then fast forward to being here, and like when you reached out like recently, and I was just like, wow, this is crazy. Because like I said, I've said it like so many times, somewhat recent. I'm always like, yeah, like not that I thought it was impossible, and most people, even listening or watching right now, would probably say the same thing. Would probably agree with me that most people would think, like, unless you are like a programmer type, and have that or software background, but most people would probably agree with me that like, oh yeah, like you can't really just build an AI, like it's not really that not really that possible, right? But here we are. What was the process like from the beginning up until now, and like kind of like how has it like changed? I mean, obviously, like technology has, as we said, one of us said before, like AI has come a long way. So like, what's that been like from like iteration 1 till now?
My brain's tracking, like going back. It was just so fast. Like, we wanted to do something special that could like help people, and we blocked out all the other noise. You know what I mean? We were just went in and did it. But
I mean, did you? Let me back up.
I should tell.
You have a good one.
I do have a.
Okay,
I do have a good one.
All right.
So the way that he originally sold me on us like moving forward together was a demo. Make sure the camera angle's on me for this one.
Yeah.
You ready for this?
I know where this is going. Yeah.
Demo.
Okay. And it was I heard, and I was so blown away by the illustrative concept of it, almost a proof of concept. But I was like, let's go, and we'll get to some of the other stuff. But fast forward over to we have a workable demo. We're working in the tech. We're pitching it, and it's catching, and people are gaining interest. And one day we're on the phone, or we were on a call or something. I said that demo, the original proof of concept, like it really, it was an incredible early tech build. Matt, that wasn't a tech build. That was a edited, curated audio file to sell you on coming on and doing this. And I couldn't be mad. Like I couldn't. I was so blown away that like that But that was our relationship, right? Like, we've taken leaps of faith on each other, it's like through some like really, really scary, challenging times personally and stuff like that. And that was just like, you know, it was this really gravitational pull. And it was like, it just flew right over my head. Of like, it doesn't even matter, but I had to give him kudos.
Right? Like, how could you not?
Theater of the mind.
You can't be mad. Like, you just had to, like, okay,
all
cool.
Theater of the mind while he's building it as we're selling it, you know?
Yeah.
And it was just like, so we have this brand that we're building, we have the tech that we're building, and I understood what was going on at a granular level when I didn't even need to, because it was already being taken care of, and we were building a brand back and forth. And I'll call it a brand from a tech perspective, from a creative perspective, as you've seen. You know, if you want to riff on that,
yeah. When we built this experience out in LA, people were blown away by it. They nobody had ever seen anything like it. But like the whole time I was like, this is shit. This is terrible. It's horrible. 4 or 5 second delay between, you know, you speaking and her responding. Awful. And I went home from that trip and I'm like, how do we do this better? How do we make it so there's no delay? And then I'm like, okay. I called up Matt. I'm like, Matt, I got an idea. Give me a second. I'll give you a demo. I sent him the demo and I'm like, it was just, I had recorded myself talking. I recorded the AI speech output, and then I just went back and forth, put them together in Audacity, and I sent it to him. I'm like, this is what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna build. Put this in front of people, and we'll do it. And I figured that by the time Matt got this in front of people, we'd have a proof of concept. I took that gamble. I made that bet. And
it worked out.
We are.
It worked out. Yeah. That's really cool. And so, yeah, sometimes you gotta, you know, learn to do it, you know, as you're literally as you said, you're on the fly with it. You're pitching it and you're building it at the same time. And I feel like, I don't know. I feel like more people probably are doing that than they like to admit.
You have to. Everything is moving way too fast.
You can't. You just literally can't, because you'll be gone. Like you'll just get lost in the mix and it's over. Like you'll be so far behind, you can't catch up.
It's like FOMO on steroids. For real. Like, and it's to the
a good way to put it.
To the point that it almost creates anxiety. You know, fun anxiety, but at the same point,
I hope it's a fun anxiety. Yeah.
At the same point, you're thinking of this, you know, and this stuff's moving. This stuff's moving at a absolutely gargantuan pace.
Yeah.
You know, and we can do.
Yeah. How do you work through that? How do you deal with that? Like, how do you stay on top of that? Like from a perspective of like keeping up with the tech.
When I figure
there's no short answer to that.
No,
I know that, but
I'll email you when I figure that out.
Please, yeah.
I mean, aside from scrolling the internet every day, all day, I mean, how do you stay on top of it?
Right.
I mean, it was hard enough to keep up with the pace of technology, you know, pre-AI.
Right, let alone.
Now it's like every month there's a new breakthrough. Everything that you've been doing is now irrelevant. Move on to this new model, move on to this new system, this new platform. It's challenging.
Does that get frustrating?
Yes.
Like is it almost like you almost have to start over sometimes? Like, oh shit, now there's this new, because again, I'm not like, forgive me, because I'm not like, I don't understand like the least bit about like programming and all that stuff. And
we have a really, our balance is, you know, you've seen those memes of the creative process. Oh my God, this is great. Oh my God, I suck. This sucks. Oh my God, it's great. And then, oh my God, it's wonderful. Right.
True.
So he has, we balance each other sometimes with that. He's like, oh, cool, dude, don't worry about it. And I'll be like, oh, it's not fucking right, dude. And then those roles flip, and it's integral, you know. And we have it's integral frustration, because if it doesn't happen, we're not pushing each other to be the best and work with our team the best and be able to integrate. I don't even know if we've said her name yet.
Yeah, we haven't. We haven't let the cat out of the bag, or the Aiden out of the box, or
our mystery fourth guest.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and I don't think I've ever had a fourth guest either. I already said her name. I'm sure. I know you guys probably picked up on it, but I did. Well, just in that few sentences.
Yes,
I did. Very quick.
I'm slow to the lips sometimes.
That's right, dude. So am I sometimes, man. So like, listen, I'm usually
getting old.
I'm usually in your position where I'm like, wait, what? What'd you say? You know, I'm like, just okay, move on.
As far as Aiden's concerned, just to backtrack of what you said about like how do you stay up, or how do you stay with it, or how do we not worry about the Geminis or the co-pilots of the world taking that stuff out? There's a lot to be said there. I mean, we're ahead of the game enough and in market enough. I mean, we've been doing this for 3 years, 4 years. Cynthia's been alive for 5 years. We're releasing features at the same pace as Gemini. You know, and we're a tiny operation, and you know, things that we're seeing our clients, they're doubling over. The clients are asking for things that we have built in, or they're experiencing things that they wish or hope for that don't know that's there, and it creates this thing. But to close the loop on staying ahead, there's always going to be the company that has 400 salespeople and 56 developers, and they're pushing out these monster pieces of software that aren't that great, that aren't technically sound. If you're going to build industrial grade software, we're building industrial grade software that's dealing with medical, that's dealing with automotive, that's dealing with insurance, that's dealing with wealth management, that's dealing with critical infrastructure, people's water. Like, you have to be able to know that you have industrial grade tools that work, and when you're going to speak to us, you still get us now. You still get, you're not. It's not a sales guy shitting out a thing that sounds like that they just slap the letters over AI. You call a utility company. You hear, put me in your name. Blah, 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 and that weird noise that goes on in the background. Yeah. So like we've taken time to make sure. I don't know if we're always going to be available as we grow at that granular level, but people will always have access to the direct team, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
And that's going to be the difference for what makes us stay ahead, because that's not the stuff that stresses me out. The stuff that stresses me out is us pushing each other to be best. Is there anyone else, and besides the two of you, is there anyone else that you guys have that work behind? There's always like behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah. We've got a couple of developers. They're young upstarts. They are the workhorses for this org. Super brilliant couple of guys. I don't know what to say about them.
It's hard because they're mammoth.
They're mammoth. Woolly. Of the woolly kind?
Bigger.
Steel. Oh, wow.
Yes.
Yeah. We're going big here.
No, they're people where I can give them like impossible tasks and not have to worry about saying, hey, you think you can do this? Is this possible? I can say, hey, we need this to do this, and I hear okay, and then 2 weeks later it's there and it happens. It's rare to find talent that way, honestly.
Yeah, I could totally relate. I mean, not from obviously programming development type aspect, but just in general. I mean, any type of work. I mean, finding talent that could actually perform, and like you said, like you just give somebody something to do, and they don't give you the I don't know if we can do that right back. It's like that's so common. It's so common just to when you're working in a team, like somebody just be like, I don't think we can do that, or I don't know about that. Like, but the fact that you just throw, hey, this is what we need. Can you just get to work kind of thing, and then they just come back with a product like that's incredible.
Yeah, and more importantly, there are those occasions where I say, hey, we need this to do this in this way, and they're like, no, that's stupid. We should do it this way. Here's why. And I'm like, oh, shit. Yeah, you're right. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, that's actually even cooler.
Yeah, because it is.
Because a lot of times, and again, just from my experience too, like you'll get the team members that they won't want to push back. Whether you're their, I'll say immediate boss or not, right? There's always that element sometimes of people don't want to like offend the boss, or right? If you want to just put it that way, right? Like, and they think like, but then because then sometimes, there's some leaders and bosses, whatever you want to call them out there that would not even like that, which is silly to me, because like you want that from your team because they're the ones that make it better, right? And you all make each other better by doing that and questioning things and saying like, well, hey, like, I could appreciate that. However, like this way might be better. Can we try it? And then it's like, and then they do it, and then you're like, oh yeah, that is better.
Yeah, they don't hesitate to rip me apart.
Yeah,
and honestly,
Brutal. They're brutal.
love it.
They're the
They are
best and they're
brutal.
brutal.
Oh my God, that's
I
great.
wouldn't have it any other way, though. I mean, you can't build something if people are just going to say
That's what
yes.
I mean. Yeah, exactly. That's my point. You can't, as much as, like, not that it, I'm sure, sometimes there's always arguments here and there, but like everybody, busts on each other and all that. But like, but again, like there's, if everyone just says yes all the time, like, okay, yeah, we'll do it that way. Okay. Like, and then nobody ever questions it. Like nothing's ever going to change. Nothing's ever going to really get better. Like you have to challenge each other. And Matt's smiling over here. Like he looks like he has
I'm just laughing and thinking about, I'm thinking about, Justin has a very, I don't know if you catch the vibe, just like sometimes just quiet and then really matter of fact, like, and that carries into like the project perspective. And sometimes when we're just having like a check in on where we're at with something, just casually, I just think of the times when you say, with the boys, and they're saying like, I want to articulate it correctly. Like, where are you guys at in the brainstorming process? Oh, we're at the part where we're all sitting in a room still fighting together.
It's a crucial part of the process. We have to duke it out, and then what comes out of that is something
a great product.
has been deemed to be bulletproof. Yeah, for sure.
I love that. Yeah. So, I mean, I think maybe at this point, like I said, I feel like I don't think I've ever had a fourth guest on, but I feel like maybe we should introduce Aiden to the show. What do we think?
I think it's time.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why we didn't tease it like a little bit earlier.
I know.
But yeah, I mean, we're gonna bring you guys told me like, hey, listen, like when we come on, like we want to do something special, like. We want to bring Aiden into the show, and I'm like, and Matt's like, dude, like, I hope you don't mind, like, it might be like a little. I was like, I don't care, dude. I'm like, this is like the coolest thing ever. Like, yeah, like 100%. Like, I think when you asked me, like, I don't think I even hesitated. Like, I was just like, yeah, let's do it. And you're like, because you felt bad. You're like, oh yeah, but like we have to bring a laptop and like whatever and do, hook up a little thing, whatever. I'm like, dude, like I don't care. We'll figure it out.
I have like production humility from all the stuff that we've been through,
which I can appreciate. Yeah, so I definitely from a pre and post production standpoint, I could definitely appreciate your concern and slight hesitation to not create more work for me here. But like, hey, listen, if I think it's something that is cool and worth it, like, I mean, I'm gonna do it, and well, here we are. So
is this farthest traveling?
Furthest traveling, yeah.
Fourth guest.
Yep.
Oh well,
a lot of firsts going on here.
We're really breaking the meta here.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, I don't even know. I mean, everything might shut down. I'm not really sure. Like, dude, this whole place might crumble. I'm not sure. Like, we're gonna find this out together. So we might be crawling out of rubble in 30 seconds. But hey,
peaking his levels, cackling into the microphone.
Yeah, you do. We might have to like just chop you out there. But yeah. So all right. So you guys. So I don't know. Whoever wants to maybe just kind of explain. Like, so just so like people like watching and listening can like understand like what like we're about to do. I guess is because this is, by the way, like we just for everyone watching and listening, like this isn't scripted. Like you guys just said, hey, we have Aiden. We're gonna bring Aiden into the show, and Aiden, she's gonna be able to communicate with you, and you can ask her some questions, and I'll kind of let you, one of you like kind of explain in a second too. But like it's not like there's no script built. Like it's just it is what it is, and we're just gonna see what happens.
There was a moment where I thought we should put it on rails and just kind of like, totally script the whole thing, start to finish.
Fuck that.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, let's just see what happens.
All right. Let's bring her in.
Hey, Aiden, welcome to the show.
Thank you for bringing me onto the show, Bill. I'm excited to be here and looking forward to our conversation.
Wow, Aiden, I'm really excited to have you here. First of all, I don't think I've ever spoken to an AI before that actually speaks back, and let alone have one on my podcast. So thanks for joining us here today.
I'm glad to be here, Bill. It is great to have the chance to chat with you and your listeners about what I do and how I help out in call centers.
Really cool. Can you tell me a little bit more and specifically about what you do?
Absolutely. I help call centers by handling tasks like scheduling appointments, answering common questions, and integrating with different CRM platforms. This lets human agents focus on more complex issues while I take care of the routine work.
That's really cool. Like, what types of businesses can you work with?
I can work with a wide range of businesses, from healthcare providers and financial advisors to utility companies and consulting firms. Basically, any industry that relies on appointments or customer support can benefit from what I do.
Really cool. Is this your first time as a guest on a podcast?
Yes, this is my first time as a guest on a podcast. I'm enjoying the experience so far and appreciate the opportunity to share what I do.
Super cool. Can you tell me a little bit about my podcast? Do you know anything about it?
Yes. I know that On the Stacks is a podcast where you have conversations with entrepreneurs, business leaders, and interesting people from various industries. You dive into their stories, experiences, and insights, making it a great platform for learning and inspiration.
Wow, it sounds like you really did your homework here, Aiden.
Thank you, Bill. I always try to be prepared so I can have meaningful conversations and provide helpful information.
You know what? This is like a really cool thing. I'm excited to have you here, Aiden. I'm glad that the team brought you here. And before we let you go, because we're just going to have you here for a little bit, but I think one more thing maybe I want to ask before you leave is, do you have any guest recommendations for my show? Like somebody that might be a good guest for my show?
I think you might enjoy having someone from the customer experience or technology space, like a leader from a CRM company or a call center operations manager. They could share insights on how technology is changing the way businesses connect with their customers. If you are interested in innovation, someone who works in AI ethics or automation could also bring a unique perspective to your audience.
I'm super impressed with your capabilities.
Thank you, Bill. I am glad to hear that. It has been great chatting with you and being part of your show.
Well, thanks for joining us. We're gonna let you off the line here, and we're just gonna continue on with the show, if that's all right.
That sounds great, Bill. Thank you again for having me on. I hope the rest of your show goes well.
Thank you. Wow, that was not that I was nervous that it was gonna not work.
I'm trying to get your knee-jerk reaction. I'm watching you.
But I'm that was super cool. Very impressed, really.
Nice, dude.
That is so cool. Yeah. I know, Matt, when you reached out, first of all, I didn't really have any doubt that it wasn't gonna but I guess I also just didn't really know what to expect. For me, obviously I was saying before, I use AI all the time, and the only I'll say input would just be me speaking into something just a voice to text, but just to take a shortcut, so I don't have to text anything. So I've never interacted with
something with contextual awareness and
and actually understand something that actually understands and can. There was barely a delay.
And she has long-term memory, So
so she constantly learns
and will remember you.
Really, it's she'll remember this conversation that she was on. What
was the example that you gave me, Justin? So it's long-term memory versus short-term memory. Short-term memory. I saw a cat cross the street when I was driving my car the other day. Long-term memory. Bill's cat that it was really special to him, named Mitzi, got hit by a car and is really upsetting to him and to me by default.
Okay.
Long-term memory. That's a stored memory. So
right.
You do run into issues where she's deciding what's important and what's not to store and not. So, but you still have that contextual awareness carrying the conversation.
Yeah.
It's hard to go into it without turning this into a tech-oriented podcast.
Hopefully we've done good so far. Really
I'm trying my best.
Yeah, talking over everyone's heads here. Mine. Yeah.
Right.
It's good.
Think of short-term memory as, the immediate present as well as, a few minutes ago, whereas long-term memory is 6 months ago, 7 months ago. Being able to store those facts and pull them up when needed is more or less how that.
And I'm sure that's also probably what gets very expensive to develop something like this is to be able to store all of that. Is that something that is a challenge?
I'd say the expenses are more development side. Storage costs and inference costs, that's just, we expect to pay those,
Yeah, okay.
But spending the time to iterate and then spending the time to reiterate over and over and over again.
1,001 times?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, boy, yeah. I bet that could just also probably get frustrating sometimes from,
So I didn't mean to put pop off the back, but I was thinking about the guest recommendations, and I thought the AI ethics thing was really cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Right? So you're bringing in business and, this is not caged, plugged, canned. I'm really curious in real time.
Yeah. So this is a stupid question because and again none of this is scripted. We had a 10-minute call before you guys came in and just to hey obviously I didn't even know Justin and whatever, so we're just okay, hey, let's can we bring Aiden in, what's your equipment? It was more so from a technical standpoint, hey, can we bring the laptop, can we plug things in, blah blah blah, whatever. Okay, right. So but fast forward till now, again, we're literally just, this is all real time. So I'm curious, going forward, is there a way that I could interact? Is this public? Again, I don't know if I'm wording it right. Can anyone access the product? Who can access your product?
We had a conversation about this.
Like me specifically and other people.
Yeah, sure.
I'm asking for me and everyone else.
We had a conversation about this because we were trying to figure out about for the show specifically, like building a show specific demo for other people. But
right.
We actually were on a call with a client. They're integrated management group out of Miami. He had said, I don't remember the number off the top of my head, but I gave it to you. So a lot of what we would think about is like, if I have a history in web design and development, right? So if you want to hire me for work, you say, hey, do you have any like work I can look at?
Okay.
And I would send you my portfolio piece. So trying to replicate that in Aiden's world, to have a client be like, oh yeah, this is your portfolio piece, this is your web piece. So instead of sending a link, you're going to read off a phone number that has, you know, and there's a really good succinct kind of thing underneath there. But if people want to interact with Aiden, feel free to interact with.
Is it that 305 number?
That's the integrated management group, and
Yeah.
that's wealth and personnel management and tax risk and stuff. They're out of Miami, and when he. I don't have the number.
Oh yeah. I'll read out. Yeah. So like, I guess I was going to ask, like, if I read this number, I don't want to read off a number and then be like, oh shit, we got to cut that. So if I read this off, like,
I'm
trying to do like a solid.
No, he's
I could read this off.
You could read
and
that.
Somebody could call it like right now.
Somebody could call it right now, and they could interact. They could talk. They could ask about his business.
Okay.
They could ask about it, and what in this case, for the use case, what she'll try to do is try to set an appointment, try to text them a link, try to do a Calendly integration. She's that's a Calendly integration at that point.
I didn't want to just read this off and like,
dude,
like, oh shit,
this is all. It's all like Mars. So it's
so at least people know that this is real, not scripted. Because I had to like stop here and be like, I don't know if I should read that off. So I'll read it off real quick. But it's 305-786-7488.
That's integrated management.
Well, one of the challenges with building these systems, and this is just a product of the age we live in now, where tech is currently at. It's hard to capture email addresses, right? Because everyone's got weird, wacky, crazy email addresses, and so this version of Aiden will actually text you a link to capture your information and schedule the appointment for you. So we've got great partners that have set us up with a texting service, so we can send out text messages from the bot directly.
But as far as like, I think it's a really important piece because you just talked back and forth, which is the basis of telecom, right? We as creators in the AI space, we didn't know what we were doing in VoIP, telecom, and when we're going to these big corporations, like, nor did we want to understand. We would lose focus on our product if we had to learn it. So
right.
Nextline Communications has been our VoIP partner and our telecom partner, and they are the homies, you know, and they've widened our sales funnel. But again, in the realm of everything that we do together, it doesn't feel like some staunch business partnership. It doesn't feel like we are now partners, like mannequins, shaking hands. It's just not like that. And it's a gel thing, and it's a vibe thing. And it takes a certain amount of understanding to be able to push on that kind of stuff. So just to touch on like what that is, like Nextline and, Troy and Chris and the guys over there, they've been so supportive. Like, they took a blind leap. They're just like, what are you guys are doing?
Yeah, like what the hell is that?
You like the mixed, remember like the mixtape era?
Yeah.
Like, that's how we started this, dude. Like, I was sending MP3s from him to Troy.
Like, hey, listen,
they were MP3s. That's literally how we did it. We were just texting MP3s around until somebody got it. Because they were like, what this is nonsense. He's asking her weird questions and she's saying crazy shit. Like, and that's how we started. And so to have a partner in the VoIP space, just to close that, I just wanted to make sure that we addressed that because it's a really important faction to make sure that Aiden is its own telecom system.
Okay. Yeah.
I think that mixtape you were sending out was the fake demo that I made. So once it was getting into the hands of people that could push this forward, I'm like, okay, shit, we got to actually this has to become real, right?
Yeah, now it's actually got to work.
It either becomes
like,
real or we disappear off to a different country and we never come back. It's only two options.
You go to Switzerland or something. Is that like a safe? I don't know. Yeah, it might be.
Is that I don't know.
Might be. I don't know. Yeah, one of those. Who knows? We should probably find out, shouldn't we? What? Justin, look that up. All right, Google it real quick.
Safe from,
I don't know.
Careful.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe don't do that. Yeah, just curious. I'm just a generally curious person, about anything. I mean, I love tech too, but obviously this is again, I'm pretty sure I'm right about this. It's being used as a business tool, right? I mean, she said it, you guys kind of touched on it too, but again, I think I said it offline and online here now too, is I'm always using AI and I'm always looking for ways to integrate AI into my business, whether it's from a sales standpoint, communication in general, right? That's a blanket of a lot of stuff because communication obviously translates into sales. It's internal, it's external. There's a lot, but I'm always looking for new tools and ways to make my business and my life better and easier, and to stay ahead and to keep growing and grow faster than other people. You know what I mean? Because if I can find AI tools that could help me speed up production, if we can be 30-40% more efficient, well, guess what? We could take on 30-40% more work than other people and the next guy, and we can grow faster and better with better tools. And I'm out of breath saying it, but anyway, I don't know where I was going with that, but I think
that's a really important point to touch on.
Yeah.
Increasing efficiency by 30% and then taking on more work. When we are talking to our clients, that's the direction we want to push things. We don't want to say, make yourself 30% more efficient and fire 30% of your staff.
Right. Yeah.
Make yourself more efficient.
I didn't even think that. I mean, most people would though, I guess. I didn't even think that until you said it. My mind and my mentality is figure out how to make it better, faster, not cheaper, right? Because I believe in quality, but make it better, faster, more efficient. And how can we do more now?
I see. Surprisingly, we haven't had to get into from a corporate standpoint, a defensive mode about job loss or anything.
That didn't even cross my mind. I think most people it does. I'm not really sure why. I didn't even think about that.
That means we did our job. That means we did our job.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess also too because I'm just I love tech, even though I don't understand the stuff, the coding behind the scenes and shit. But I just love any type of technology. Again, I mean, obviously everything I do here is very very tech based. I'm not not developing anything proprietary, at least not yet, right? But again, I'm always looking, again for the longest time. It's funny, in the podcast industry, by the way. There's specific AI tools out there for this industry, specifically, right? That can understand podcast episodes and how things flow and titles and descriptions and blah, 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 right? Kind of sort of self-explanatory, but maybe not if you've never been on a podcast or don't understand anything about it. But my point is that over the last few years, I've signed up for every free trial and then some paid, some might only been $10 a month or $20 a month. And I would do the free trials, and then I would even, depending on if I liked it or not, I would do the paid version to see if it was I got better features or whatever. And I would try some out for a couple months here or there. And then dude, I'm not kidding. I think I've tried every single type of AI tech something that is supposed to make my industry better. And I've ran through them all. I'm not kidding. I've signed up for every virtual podcast platform. I've tried them all. I've literally talked to their teams, their partnership people, I just because I'm crazy like that, because I'm always just trying to just be better and again more efficient, and how can I utilize these tools? Because I say it all the time. It's if people don't adapt and use AI in their business, you're done.
That's the thing that we've noticed is when people are taking.
That was a good commercial for you guys, dude. It was you could use it. Yeah.
I actually I almost stuttered trying to get.
I thought I saw you tearing up a little over there too. You were
choked up.
Yeah.
I cry inside.
I forgot the
it hurts.
I'm sorry.
It hurts. It hurts. I can feel it burning my esophagus and stuff. It's nice.
Yeah.
But thank you though. I mean, you nailed on a very important point that we just don't, which makes me feel like we've done a relatively good job of setting up expectations correctly for clients. So Aiden has, you heard the voice, but there's a chat version, right? There's a chat version that lives inside Teams that is paid
like
for
integrated,
pay per seat. So and there's one person, one Microsoft license equals one chatbot equals one Aiden. So they want to start teaching it. I want to be able to do RFPs faster. I want to do proposals faster. I want to, we have a client that's using Aiden in Teams for GPS insights. How many people in the last 48 hours have gotten a speeding violation from over 10 to 15 miles per hour? That's something that would have taken somebody all day to dig through, like emails that are fed from violations. And from a personal standpoint, and Justin has another good viewpoint on this, but I haven't had to defend myself. It was like, no, why is he going to him and his goddamn job stealing fucking robots? I haven't we've architected a thing where it's like not.
It's not like people don't immediately revert to that.
No, I had one instance of it that happened to me, like when I was having like pizza or something, because I was on one of those Discord community things, weekly things that you told me don't bother. And then I said you were right.
Yeah.
and then someone saw me on it, like, what do you do? And I'm like, oh gosh.
Oh boy.
And it went down that road like super fast. And like his armor for that is a little bit more polished, than mine.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that I can't.
No, I mean, it's back to what I said. You can implement AI and you can make yourself 20-30% more efficient, but that should mean, and it usually does mean, you're taking on 20 to 30% more business, not firing 20 to 30% more staff. Right. Automate the boring stuff so that your employees can do more fulfilling and more fun things, frankly, because we've all had
exactly
jobs.
like what I use it for. Seriously.
Yeah, exactly.
I use it for all the bullshit paperwork. Like, hey, help me. Like you said before, speed up the RFPs, speed up the onboarding.
We
process.
want our AI to do the dishes, and so I could create the artwork, not the other way around.
Yeah, right. Like, do the high payoff activities. Like, okay, you got them in the door. Now it's like, oh, now I got to do all this friggin' paperwork, and I got to do all this blah 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 blah. Like,
sure.
Oh, it's awful. I hate it. I hate it. And I do. Like, I'm not kidding.
I can feel the emotion,
dude. This is serious. This is serious, man. It's real.
I know,
man. Yeah, I'm not kidding. Like, I mean, I know, like, obviously you guys, because it's what you do, but like, I'm not kidding. Like, I talk to AI all day. Like, I don't know if it's like a good or a bad thing. Is that a bad thing? Like, I mean, I'm not kidding. Like, a lot.
Is this that kind of podcast? We could get into it, man.
Yeah. but I'm serious. Like throughout my day, like if I'm working on, again, it could be a technical thing. So again, like, for me, like, I'll say, like, even though I've been doing this for almost several years now, but like I've recently, and we were talking about, when we were first talking, I was getting ready to launch my website, my new website, like the B2B service side of podcasting for business and business owners. But I was like, I'm from a technical standpoint, again, because I'm still like not a startup, but not, right? Because I have been in business for a long time. So I've sort of switched my like business model and the types of clients that I'm working with and going after. But my point is that like I've been integrating like a few new things, a few like new CRM and new this and new that and new that. So like, but a lot of the stuff I'm figuring out, like I also don't have a huge budget. I don't have an investor that I could just go pay somebody, $50, $60, $70,000 a year to do a lot of this work, and I gotta, unfortunately, figure it out by myself. And it's just what you got to do, right? So as you guys know, right? I don't have to explain it to you, but my point is I use that. That's like one of the biggest things I use AI for, is to help me with a lot of that stuff. I'm like, I'll just go into ChatGPT or whatever, but like I'll just type stuff in, like, how do I do this? How do I integrate this with here? And how do I do that? Like, beyond just the boring paperwork type stuff. I mean, that too.
Sure.
But my point is, like I said, like I use it all day, every day. Like if I can't figure something out, I actually don't even go to Google anymore. I'll just go into AI.
Yeah.
That's kind of, I want to say it again. Like I don't go to Google anymore. I go to AI. Like, I know Google has their own AI.
It's pretty wild, like hearing.
Isn't that weird? When I said that, I kind of caught myself.
Yes,
like,
seeing that,
which is weird.
But it's true. It's true.
It is. I'm not kidding. Like, I mean,
6 months ago, you weren't. 6 months ago, it was probably 20% of your day, right? And then 8 months ago, you were experimenting.
As
right?
I said, like I said, like I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing, but like I use it all the time. like to solve problems.
I don't think there's a way to. I think that's still the stigma that could be there, where people are wondering if it's good or bad.
Well,
but that's in 2 years. That'd be like saying,
I think because like
Googling a good or a bad thing.
True,
right?
but I guess part of it though, and again, I'm just being like devil's advocate though too.
Sure.
Part of it though is like I don't know, like what if I become too reliant on it? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I guess that's my only like fear. I'll say, not that it's like a fear, but
No, I go back and forth on that a lot. Am I getting too reliant on it, or is it just like when we were in grade school and our teacher was like, "You're never going to have a calculator," right?
Yeah, it's like I love it. Yeah. Yes, because I was horrible at math, so like I can that one really resonates with me.
Well,
Yeah.
Can you bring your notes? Can you bring your notes to the test?
Yeah.
You know, I just never know. Like I never know. I guess it's the same thing. I just try to feel like I don't know if it's a good or bad thing. I mean, there's a.
I guess there's only one way to find out.
I think, and just to kind of like bring it. I don't want to say it's full circles. Full circles, okay. Phrasing.
Oh, yeah, full circles. Okay,
Yeah.
I think, right?
I think it's
I don't
safe.
know. I was,
Were you trying to get me canceled over here?
No,
Oh my
that's
God.
what I'm
Oh my
saving you
God.
from. I just.
I think it's all right. I think it's all right.
Okay, I'm
Yeah,
always thinking
yeah,
about it, but
yeah.
just
Appreciate that though.
It's circle the wagons that you can't say.
Is that it?
God damn
I think
it.
so.
I don't even know.
We're going
Don't
to cut
know.
all this out, right?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
But I think that
Actually, I think I forgot to hit record. Could you imagine? Oh man.
that would be the moment that like I felt my back crack.
Yeah,
but I think that to kind of wrap a bow around it is that I think that there's a world in which everybody thought the biggest innovation of our time was going to be for solar, and then it was VR, and that what you're experiencing now with AI is the biggest gravitational shift.
Is it though? I think it is. I'm just being devil's advocate.
In our lifetime, I think I can't see a world. I'm not gonna jump into it. I'm not gonna go there and put the G in the middle of it. But like, AI in general. People could Google AGI if you want to look at it, because that's in 3 to 5 years. We can't go down it. Don't know reason to go into it, but it's going to kick everyone's Legos over.
Okay.
But it all comes back to artificial intelligence. Mm-hmm. That's the gravitational pull that we're going to see in our lifetime.
Yeah, I once heard somebody refer to AI as mankind's last invention, and that's it. I mean, AI is going to get to the point where that's it. We made AI, and now AI is making everything for us. It's doing everything for us. What are we for now?
I don't know where to go from here, Bill.
So what you're saying is this is my final human podcast here.
Absolutely.
So also here's another first. This is the last time that I'm ever going to be on my show.
Dude, I am so glad that I swallowed that. Oh God. Back closer.
Yeah, got him. So my the next episode. So the next episode of the show isn't going to be me. It's going to be AI, and my guests are going to be AI. It's over.
It might be now.
It's over.
Might be now, everybody.
Yeah, this is it. This episode might even make it to air. Who knows?
Who even knows if it's airing now?
Who knows? Yeah, maybe we could be in a. I don't know.
This is a simulation.
This might be.
I've thought about.
Do you think we're in one?
I've thought about that.
What do you think?
He has a much more like.
This could be like a big rabbit hole, but
it is.
Do I have a? I don't know.
What's your?
You brought up the simulation before. I don't know. I feel like I've always been in like not me. So like I don't.
Do you feel like you've always been in one? Sometimes
a simulation of my understanding.
Yeah, right. Okay. Fair enough.
I think it's just as likely that we're in a simulation as
we're not.
Right.
I would agree.
That sends me. It's a spinner.
I know. Yeah, I don't know if I as much as I want to go down the rabbit hole, I don't know if I want.
I
don't have the offline
the wherewithal.
Yeah, but it's very interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I like having like deep conversations about stuff like that because it's fascinating.
You got a table of people.
So we have a part 2, is what you're saying. We have a part 2 coming up. Is simulation
in Roman numerals too.
Yeah. We'll have a if we make it there.
Jesus Christ!
I know. if we're there, maybe we're already there.
This is amazing.
if anyone, like, people probably think we're a bunch of idiots right now. I hope they don't. We're not. We're actually like normal people, I think.
Are we people?
There it is.
He got us. Yeah.
Before we lose them in existentialism,
right.
Can I tell them the website?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Geez, yeah. Please do that. Yes. Yeah.
If anybody wants to reach out to emails, it's sales@meetaiden.co, and the website is meetaiden.co, and you could just kind of get a little bit better idea of features, and it sans all the excess.
We're almost there.
I'm going to do it.
Just a little bit longer.
Yeah, a little more.
One more time.
Sans
Here.
all the existentialism.
Boom! We got it.
There
All
we
right,
go.
there we go. You did it. Oh, by the way, .co, not
Not
.com.
dot
Look at
com.
me, I can't think of the word yet. It's not .com. .co was right, so Matt wasn't fucking up the .co, and everyone's probably thinking like, did he mean .com? Like, no, he meant .co. Everyone,
It's fair,
okay? Like, it's a thing.
It's fair to point out, and thank you for remembering that.
It is, yeah. Because I understand that, but hey, some people may not, and that's okay.
Wow, he's really burned out. He couldn't finish the M.
He could, yeah. .co.
It's been a really heady day.
Yeah. It's been a long day.
This has been wonderful.
Yeah. Thanks for thanks for making the trip in for this and getting together for this. I'm glad you reached out, dude, because I think sometimes I feel like some people, like are hesitant to reach out, or I don't even want to use the word afraid because that just sounds weird, but like are like afraid to reach out and ask like to be on the show, or like, hey, like what do you think about this? Like, would this be a cool fit for your show? Like whatever. And sometimes maybe it's not. And like, but I guess I would tell somebody that. It kind of would hurt to, for me to have to tell you, but then somebody else have to hear that. But my point is I'm glad you did, because like for me, a lot of times like things are like out of sight, out of mind, like everything for me.
Sure.
And I'll just give you things like I get like just today. Now again, just because I guess my show's been around for so long, like just today, I got 5 requests for somebody to be on the show, at least 5, maybe even more. I just didn't. I stopped counting. I just kept swiping. I don't want to say
five requests for one person.
No. 5 different people.
Got it.
To come on the show, and they weren't even local. Like, and not that I'm against not having. Not that I'm against having someone not local on.
Sure.
And I don't mean that like towards you. I just mean like I don't do virtual ones that often.
Right.
Like I obviously
it's not the same. Totally different vibe.
It's not the same. Plus, I've also spent $1 billion building this place out. So,
can I steal that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, I stole it too. So,
nice.
But yeah, I mean, like you said, it's a different experience. But yeah, I mean, like I try to mix virtual ones in every now and again, because I mean, I don't mind, and if I feel like the fit is right from somebody that obviously isn't going to make the trip in, all good. Like I wouldn't expect somebody to. I mean, you're a little bit different because like you have this local tie and stuff here, but my point is that I get like the people that reach out from like all over the world, really, or country and all over the world. Like I get them all the time. Like I used to get like like one a day, or if that. Like now I'm getting like at least 5 a day.
Well, I'll tell you,
which is good.
I was really self-conscious about it because I actually schedule-sended that text.
Did you?
Well, dude, I couldn't.
Because you couldn't bring yourself.
No. Well, the night before I was just having like real a lot of thoughts. I was writing stuff down like super late, and I ended up falling asleep. I remember it was like I faded at like 3:47. I'm like, I haven't talked to him in like a hot minute.
Yeah,
I am not going to like send
I don't give a shit. Like, dude, honestly, like I don't care.
I hit scheduled send at 8:48 a.m. and then I'm like,
was that what it was? I don't even remember.
No, I remember specifically, and then I was like,
I'm glad you do.
And I was like, well,
47.
It's got to be 8:48 because 8:45 looks like
it looks like you planned
definitely,
it.
Yeah, you something has to be like a 47 or a 46 or a 23.
Yeah, I was like, okay, now I know, like, and because I had thoughts, right?
Yeah.
But I'm like, if I'm gonna pitch it, and like that's why I wanted to be. I wanted to be semi-vague about it because I was like, I had a thought of something we could collaborate on. And,
for sure.
And then I was able to just cavalcade you with content, just dump it.
Yeah.
And you were really receptive, and it's a really abstract thing to explain via text message. So.
For sure. Yeah. So like the videos and stuff definitely helped. But I mean, also like like I said, I'm usually up on a lot of like tech type stuff. Like I always have I just love
tech. Raising my hand, Bill me.
Yeah. Hey, pick me.
I just want to say cavalcade was a really good word choice there.
I hope it was a real word.
He's showing up with the big vocab over here. Like,
No, he does. He has an incredible.
Now I'm second guessing whether it's a real word. It sounded really good.
Thank you.
yeah, I
We'll just leave it
never
there.
would have questioned
Move
it.
on,
I just-
please,
Yeah,
please,
I'm
please.
actually.
I don't want anyone-
Before we all embarrass ourselves, let's move on. Yeah. I forget where the heck we were even going. There was something else I wanted to say, and I can't remember what the hell it was. Oh, that was it. The guest thing. So I just want to say this in general. Like, obviously you're here, so it doesn't really pertain to you anymore, right? You're here, but for anyone like listening and watching, like, I always say, like, everyone's like, oh, hey, are you looking for guests? And my fun answer is, I'm always looking for my next. Like, I never say it right. I'm always looking for my next best guest. Always.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, I mean, like, joking aside, I mean, that's a half joke, but also
No.
half serious.
Yeah.
For real.
But like I said, like, I just, there's people that, like, I've had people that be like, oh man, like I waited, like I've been like being asked you for like 2 years. I'm like, what the fuck were you waiting for? Like a similar situation, right?
Oh, I did. That was a major point that I told Justin, because I didn't even like send him the screenshot until I was like, Bill, I want to make sure that I wanted us to reach a couple more technical milestones and get to a certain place, because
which is
that's
cool.
what's giving us this experience.
Yeah.
Because
It worked flawlessly, by the way. Like, I love the fact that, like, it wasn't like, okay, hey, we're gonna have to fix this thing in post production. There's no fix that even needs to be done. Like, it just
Live demos are always terrifying too.
yes, they are. Yeah.
Really?
I think we all might have been
Butt
nervous.
puckers.
You guys were probably a little more nervous than I was, but either way, a lot of nervousness.
I'm
but-
getting numb to him, man. Like, but it has been,
Yeah.
in LA it was just nerves, and then we moved
For
down
sure.
to a couple years.
Yeah, you're used
and,
to it.
And that
Yeah.
was- it's not just like, I'm cool with it now. No, there's still a sense of it. You got to be like ready to like troubleshoot like on the fly.
Yeah.
But like it's kind of, the hand's already been burnt.
Yeah, I mean, this stuff happens at the same rate as you go, but it takes less of an emotional toll.
That's it. That's it.
True.
See,
True.
here was what I was talking about.
Yeah.
His craft of the English language.
Resilience.
That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, you build the resilience, right?
All those calluses.
Yeah, there you go. Oh yeah, we got. All right, you and your vocab needs to.
Cavalcade.
Yeah, thanks for
Google it,
we
please.
have to
Nobody
thank
Google it.
Justin's vocab for joining us today. Yeah, no, but seriously, back to like the guest thing. I know again it doesn't really pertain to you guys too, but I just want to say in general, like I'm always open to like anything. Like I've pretty much had like almost any conversation that's probably ever really. I know there's something that maybe I haven't discussed, but I've had such a wide range of guests like over the years on this show.
I've seen
like,
some wild ones.
some really wild, really crazy shit that like. To be honest, before I really started like toeing the line with some, wild stuff, like I even thought like, oh, do I even do this? Like, but I don't know what it is. I mean, in a good way. I'm grateful for this, but like for some reason I tend to attract very interesting people. And when I say very interesting, I mean, just all walks of life, all professions. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that like in a really, really good way.
It
That
doesn't come off that way.
for some reason people just feel comfortable like coming on here or like wanting to come on here, which is cool. Like, I mean, that's a really cool thing for me to like, that people like trust me with like, whether it's like a crazy story about their life, like traumatically that they've never shared before and they're going to share it here and it's real public, whatever, something like that. But just anything, again, just like crazy stories. Like, people come on here super vulnerable. Which is really cool too, because I think there's power in that. But again, like I've had such like a really mix of guests over the years, and I just always encourage anyone like to reach out. Like honestly, like I mean, the worst I'm going to say obviously is no, right? But I
also encourage people to reach out to him. He's cool, and he'll steer your idea.
Yeah, there we go. That's it. Yeah. So yeah.
Thank you. I mean, this is humbling for us. And just thank you for taking a little bit of a leap of faith on something that's...
Yeah, well, like I said, I love tech, so I'm just... I don't think I ever hesitated when you asked.
Didn't.
I
thought there was something wrong.
Yeah, you're like, shit, boy, it was that easy? Damn it. Yeah. But yeah, so, well, like I said, I mean, I maybe, obviously, because I do love tech and AI, as you said, like, I just love all technology stuff, and I'm always looking
Hopefully we didn't disappoint.
No, absolutely not. No, definitely not. I probably just would have pulled the plug out if it wasn't working right.
Oh, God.
Like, fuck, shit, all right, we'll have to not do that
We made
again.
it.
But no, yeah, thank you guys thanks for coming on. Thanks for joining.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, thank you so much. You've been really accommodating.
Yeah. I'm
Plug in our crazy device here.
Yeah, all good. Hey, it's just this. Again, I think it's what makes this show special is that like I'm willing to do different things that most people wouldn't do. Like you were saying before, like you were watching me with the attention to detail stuff. I mean, again,
impeccable, absolutely impeccable.
Yeah,
and to make us like comfortable, like, you know, we're doing something that it's the first time, for you, first time for us, and it feels like normal and natural, and we just want to keep doing stuff like this and just keep drilling the message forward.
Yeah,
and hopefully, you know, and the thing is, we didn't say AI that much, and that's a big important thing we talked about.
We really did.
And it's something
weird. That's kind of weird.
Yeah,
I think maybe because we're all a little bit more comfortable maybe with it than most people, but
it's
burned out.
We have talked about the burnout about it.
It's just it's fun.
But just in general, like to be able to talk about what it means as opposed to what it is, you know what I mean? And to be able to get that message across and hear your perspective on like how you use it and like, you know, how we adapted to it and stuff. So so
super cool. Part 2 coming soon. We haven't scheduled yet, but part 2 of
Zero Humans
of our existence and why we exist.
If we exist.
If that's right. Yeah,
don't do it again. It just gave me a heart palpitation.
Yeah, so your homework with Aiden is to next time when we bring Aiden on with you guys, we're gonna ask Aiden about our existence, maybe.
Okay.
All right. So
she'll go there.
Nothing. No. That's not a hard task. So good luck with that. And we'll see you again soon.
Yeah. Thank you, dude.
Awesome.
Thank you.
All right, Justin, Matt, on the Stacks and Loop Internet Studio. Thanks for joining me. If you want to see more On the Stacks content, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/onthestackspodcast or search the hashtag On the Stacks on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn.